Waitrose charges an average of £29.54 more per shop than Aldi. Over a year, that adds up to roughly £393. And here's what makes this more than a price comparison video. Some of that premium genuinely goes to farmers, to animal welfare, and to sourcing standards that Aldi does not match. Waitrose has the awards and the independently verified data to prove it. But Waitrose does not tell you how much of the £393 goes to those things, and how much goes to the postcode, the store design, and the fact that carrying a Waitrose bag says something about you that carrying an Aldi bag does not. That split is the question this video answers. Which, the consumer watchdog, tracks thousands of grocery prices across 8 British supermarkets every month. Its 2024 full-year analysis found that Waitrose was the most expensive supermarket for a smaller 56-item basket every single month of the year. Not occasionally, every month. Aldi was the cheapest every month. In December 2024, the Waitrose basket came in at £129.83 against £100.29 at Aldi. For a larger 150-item shop, the gap gets worse. Waitrose's larger basket cost £679.20 in the same period, against Asda at £525.98 with loyalty pricing. Waitrose was the most expensive option in Britain for larger shops every month of 2024 as well. The Christmas dinner comparison makes the gap tangible. A Christmas dinner for a family of 4: turkey, roast potatoes, stuffing, gravy, sprouts, carrots, pigs in blankets, parsnips, cranberry sauce, and Yorkshire puddings, cost £23.15 at Aldi in December 2024. The same meal at Waitrose cost £42.95. That's £19.80 more for a single meal. The components aren't identical in every case, but they're doing the same job on the same table on the same day. Now, most people hear those numbers and assume the answer is simple. Waitrose is overpriced, shop at Aldi, end of story. But the actual picture is more complicated than that, and being honest about it makes the real question sharper, not softer. Waitrose genuinely does treat its farmers differently from most competitors. It pays 32.08 per litre for milk, above the industry average, because, in its own words, it gives farmers the reassurance and confidence to invest in their businesses long term. It was the only British retailer to introduce a floor price for beef during recent market pressures, specifically to ensure farmers stayed in business. Its Farming Partnership Programme, launched in 2012, gives UK farmers access to discounted membership of Anglia Farmers, the country's largest agricultural buying cooperative. On animal welfare, Waitrose holds 14 retailer awards from Compassion in World Farming, including 5 Good Farm Animal Welfare Awards, and is ranked in the highest tier by the Business Benchmark on Farm Animal Welfare. In April 2022, Waitrose committed to cows producing milk for its own label products, spending a minimum of 180 days per year grazing, up from 120. No other major British supermarket has made that commitment. On pesticides, the Pesticide Action Network UK ranked Waitrose as having the strongest reduction commitments of any major British supermarket in 2024. These are not marketing claims, they're independently assessed, third-party verified standards that cost real money to maintain. Consumer taste tests consistently find that Waitrose own label products score higher on flavour than Aldi equivalents. The produce range is wider. The fresh food quality is generally acknowledged to be higher. The in-store experience, the bakery, the fishmonger, the staffing levels, is genuinely different. Some of the price premium at Waitrose is going directly to farmers, to welfare standards, and to food quality. That is a real and honest answer to where part of the premium goes. But it is not the complete answer. And the part that Waitrose never explains is where the rest of it goes. Waitrose operates 331 stores across Britain, predominantly in affluent areas. The estate is weighted toward the southeast, toward market towns, toward postcodes where household incomes sit above the national average. The cost of running a supermarket in Kensington or Henley-on-Thames is meaningfully higher than running one on a retail park outside a northern market town. Rent, rates and the staffing costs needed to maintain the service levels Waitrose's customer base expects are all embedded in the price at the till. Then there's the ownership structure. The John Lewis Partnership, which owns Waitrose, employs roughly 74,000 people described as partners rather than staff, entitled to an annual profit share bonus. In recent years, that bonus has been cancelled entirely. The partnership reported a £234 million pre-tax loss and announced plans to cut 11,000 jobs over 5 years as part of a cost reduction programme targeting £900 million in savings by 2027. The employee ownership model that was supposed to be Waitrose's defining ethical difference from its competitors is under serious structural pressure. And then there is the brand itself. Waitrose has been selling a specific idea of itself since it first opened in Acton in 1904. The idea is that quality costs more, that the extra cost is worth paying, and that shopping at Waitrose says something about your values and your standards. Its customers don't just shop there. They identify with shopping there in a way that Asda or Morrison's customers rarely do with their supermarket. That identity is worth money. It's the reason Waitrose can charge a premium that goes beyond what its sourcing costs, its welfare standards and its store operating costs would justify on their own. And it's the part of the premium that Waitrose never itemizes. If you want to see more of this kind of analysis, subscribe. Because the next part of this story is the detail that tells you exactly how wide that gap had become. In September 2024, Waitrose announced it had invested £140 million in price cuts over the previous 18 months, reducing prices on almost 1,400 products across 6 separate rounds since February 2023. Think about what that means. A retailer does not cut the price of 1,400 products 6 times in a year and a half because those products were already priced fairly. It does it because it recognizes, under competitive pressure from Aldi and Lidl and under direct pressure from a cost of living crisis hitting its own customer base, that the margin it was extracting was higher than the market would bear. The £140 million in price cuts is not a gift. It's a competitive response to losing ground. Waitrose's share of the British grocery market sits at 4.4% as of July 2025. It has been under sustained pressure from the discounters for over a decade. Every price cut is an acknowledgement that the previous price included a margin that went beyond what the sourcing, the welfare standards and the store costs required. That margin is the identity premium. And even after 6 rounds of cuts, Waitrose is still the most expensive supermarket in Britain, every single month. This is not an argument that Waitrose is a bad supermarket. By multiple independent measures, it is the best in Britain for animal welfare, for pesticide reduction, and for farmer payment standards. Those things are real, and they cost money. The argument is narrower than that. When you pay £393 more per year at Waitrose than you would at Aldi, some of that goes to farmers and welfare standards that genuinely justify a premium. Some goes to operating stores in expensive locations with high service levels. And some goes to the brand, to the store design, the neighbourhood, and the signal that a Waitrose bag sends about the kind of person carrying it. Waitrose charges you for all 3. It talks about the first 2. The third is the one it never mentions, and it's the most profitable part of the price on everything in the shop.